That's why Green Bay, that has a Super Bowl roster right now, needed to go get a closer. And Micah Parsons yesterday, 4 tackles for losses, 3 sacks, a couple in the fourth. He is their closer. He's their Mariano. It's much more valuable on a Super Bowl roster closing games. When you have an excellent offensive coach and a top 10, 12 quarterback like Jordan Love, you're going to lead 90, 80% of your games in the fourth quarter. How do you finish them off? Right? Offensive lines are always banged up. Maybe your run game sputtering. You finish it off sometimes not having the ball. And you finish it off with the closer, the drive stopper. And that's why I said when Dallas traded Micah, Dallas isn't as good. Dallas needed flexibility and picks and more good players. I mean, Dallas can't stop anybody. So Micah, a lot of your skill is wasted. Your team trails by 10 points in the fourth quarter. Green Bay's the opposite. So this was one of those trades that worked for both teams. Green Bay needs a stopper now. Dallas, over the next year, they need more elite players and not expensive ones. They're paying CeeDee Lamb a fortune. Oh my God. They're paying Dak a fortune. And they're probably going to end up paying George Pickens a lot of money. And they're paying their corners. So Dallas has to hit on a couple of first-round picks and second-round picks. Green Bay's already got that. They're loaded at receiver and tight end. They've got their star running back. They've got their quarterback. They had the roster. I mean, they were good despite giving up Kenny Clark to Dallas. So that this worked for both teams. But yesterday was exactly why you get Micah. You go on the road. It's a tough matchup. I told you Friday. I said, Arizona, Green Bay is going to win it. Take the points. It's going to be close. Arizona loses close more often, it seems like, the last 3 years than anybody in the league. And Jacoby Brissett was comfortable early in the game. At one point, he completed, 14 straight throws. But when you needed, you led 2-1 entering the ninth. Here came Micah, and that's why you got him. That's why the trade was smart by Green Bay, but I understood it from Dallas's standpoint.
Okay. I'm gonna like lose my mind here. Why are we still trying to justify the trade for the Green Bay Packers of Micah Parsons? It was a great move and a huge swing for the Green Bay Packers because the Green Bay Packers are a great team and a great organization, and they needed like someone like Micah on their team. Okay, like, why are we so justifying a trade that happened weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. Why do we still feel like we need to have this conversation? Let's just talk about the game. Okay, can we please just talk about the game? The Green Bay Packers winning 27-23 against the Arizona Cardinals. Against a significantly better Arizona Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett, mind you. Okay? So a higher quality team, actually. I think it continues to be really important for the Green Bay Packers to win games in this style, where things are not just all about the fireworks, the big plays. I'm always concerned when I see a boom or bust team in terms of with big plays, where it's like either the big play is there or they just got nothing. And this game, you are watching this game, you started feeling like, are the Packers going to lose this game? Or are they going to drop this game to the Arizona Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett? And what the heck does that mean? And this is what was smart. This is where they didn't make the true Cardinal sin. Jordan Love, interception, forcing the ball down, whatever it may have been. They ran the ball well, but they obviously couldn't really heavily rely onto it how they would normally want. Josh Jacobs, 13 carries for 55 yards, and 22 of the yards of the 94 total came from Jordan Love on 4 carries. Jordan Love, 19 for 29, 179 yards, 6.2 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, the 1 sack, and a 93.9 pass rating. Obviously, not just this like unstoppable. Of course, Tucker Kraft, my favorite piece on the Packers, got his 5 receptions, 58 yards, and a touchdown. I'm just going to keep saying it. Keep feeding him, keep feeding him, keep feeding him, keep feeding him, keep feeding him. He did have the most targets of 10, but obviously only half those were caught. But I think at this point with the Packers, continuing to learn how to win these tight, uncomfortable games, I think is really, really important. You want to see them be able to put away a team like the Cardinals, a lot more comfortably. It is a little bit trickier. I don't know when Jacoby Brissett was officially announced as the starting quarterback. It is always tricky when you don't know, and last minute you're kind of like randomly preparing for a different quarterback. Like we see that effect a lot, especially a quarterback who's completely different than the starting quarterback. There's a massive difference between Jacoby Brissett and Kyler Murray. We saw that in the one game. I think it was when Joe Flacco replaced AR. We talked about that like last year. It's just it really does change things up very quickly. It happened with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts with Kenny Pickett against the Washington Commanders. It's just like defense just like has to quickly on the fly completely change what they're doing. And obviously it's different when it's in game versus preparing for the week, but it's just what all the things that the coaches are doing behind the scenes and how they're preparing and how, you know, how they're going to get after it. And then obviously everything they're relaying to the team itself. And so I think the Packers continue to show a lot of resilience, and they're obviously not they're not putting away teams in this dominant fashion that makes people feel happy. Think about it. When they beat the Detroit Lions and they beat the Washington Commanders, it felt like that's what makes them great. Like, look what they did. They put away the Lions easily. They put away the Commanders easily. They take care of business. They're great. And then you have a couple close games and you even lose a close game and you get this crazy back and forth with the Cowboys, right? And you start to feel like things are kind of shrinking a little bit and a little bit more suffocating. And then I think we kind of start to overlook the importance of being able to win games like this as well. I think it's incredibly important. And again, look no further than the last playoff game you lost. I referenced that game so much for the Packers because it's such a perfect learning example. That was a weird, ugly game. That was a game that was uncomfortable from the jump. And the Packers were obviously injured and there was all their issues that they had, but they were uncomfortable in that moment. They were clearly uncomfortable. Jordan Love was uncomfortable. You know, everything about that was uncomfortable. Bad decisions, bad execution. It was just bad. And the Eagles were very comfortable in that situation. They were like, yeah, this is weird. This is not exactly how we would have wanted this game to unfold, but we're comfortable. And they had a similar situation against the Los Angeles Rams. They were comfortable in it. They were comfortable in the ugly. And it's so incredibly important. And this is what I kept saying again and again and again, and I'll keep saying it. Like, my evaluation of a Jordan Love at this point is I want to see you be an elite game manager. I know you can be elite at everything else. I want to continue to see you evolve and be an elite game manager. And that also goes for the team as a whole as well. You know, and the coaching staff as well, understanding this is the way this game is unfolding right now. We can't force it to go the way how we want it to go. We can't force it. Yeah, we were expecting one thing and now we're getting another. So now we have to adjust accordingly. And that is something that the Packers, without a doubt, lacked. They only ever felt comfortable when everything was going their way. When they were moving and shaking and they're, you know, rolling the Miami Dolphins and whatnot, they felt good. And then we saw a little bit of that this season when they felt really good, when they were winning good and winning big and had a nice lead. And it's like, okay, everything is smooth. But then once things kind of get a little ugly, or just a lot tenser, you're kind of like, where are we? What's going on? And you need to experience that. You need to experience that again and again and again and again. So I think a game like this ends up being great. I wanted to see a more convincing win here for sure. But again, Jacoby Brissett played really, really well. So sometimes you just got to tip your hat to what they can. And like I said, this team looks better with Jacoby Brissett than Kyler Murray. So that's just, you know, that's a different conversation entirely. But all in all, I still think a really positive win. But if we have to, every time we talk about the Packers, if we have to unpack, should have they traded for him or not? And what about the Cowboys? I'm going to lose my mind. It doesn't matter. The trade happened. It's been weeks ago. It was a great trade for the Packers. Like, just stop. I mean, we just got to stop with it, man. Just move on. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Green Bay Packers taking down the Arizona Cardinals? And what do you think about the trade of Micah Parsons? Do you agree with the trade? Was it a good trade? Do you still want to talk about the trade? How about the Dallas Cowboys? You want to talk about, should the Dallas Cowboys traded Micah? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.